Right, so before W.G. Grace, perhaps the most notable cricketer was this man right there, George Parr. And George Parr, I guess, organized or led the first ever international cricket team. So this England team went and traveled. You won't probably guess where they went because you probably would have guessed, like I would have, Australia or maybe one of the other cricketing nations, India or South Africa or something like that. But no, in 1859, they did the first international cricket tour to another country where cricket was very popular, the United States, where obviously I live. So the first ever international cricket match was played in Hoboken, New Jersey, which, if you're familiar with that area, it's right across the river from New York City. My aunts lived there for quite a while, so I got to visit them there, and has the best views of Manhattan today. But back then, it was not all built up. You can see this was the cricket ground right there in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is pretty amazing that the first international cricket match was played in 1859. And the really cool thing about these are not reprints. This was originally published, and you can see Harper's Weekly, 1859. This was the original publishing, and when I ordered this, I didn't know what would be on the back. I was hoping, crossing my fingers, that there would be information about the matches, and guess what? Both of these have detailed information about the match, what happened. The England team won really handily. Like, the quality of these players was so much better than what they faced. They actually played in Hoboken against the Canada team as well, and demolished them. So, anyway, it wasn't a close match, but it was a notable match, right, from the international nature of it. And the fact that, not many of us know that in this era, right before the Civil War, baseball was not the national sport. Cricket was, or not. Cricket wasn't a national sport, but it was more popular at that point than baseball was. And it actually turns out that, from what I've read, it was because of the Civil War and the nature of baseball. It was a little bit easier to play, I guess, in fields that weren't maintained, right? Like, cricket has to be very, very well maintained fields in order to get the right kind of bounce and things like that. And you have to carry more equipment. You've got a bigger, wider bat, and you've got the wickets and all that kind of stuff. So my guess is baseball was just a lot more convenient to play as they were going from area to area, traveling along. And supposedly both sides of the Civil War, the North and the South, picked up baseball, which previously had been more of a kid's game. And that's kind of what led to baseball becoming the national pastime and the most popular sport by far in the country for, well over, 100 years or more. It's not as popular anymore, obviously, but still holds a special place in the national history. Also notably, on the United States side, Harry Wright was a very famous baseball manager and early adopter who helped to spread the game. And Harry Wright was actually part of the United States team that played cricket against these guys. And Harry Wright's dad was the groundskeeper of this cricket ground in Hoboken. So you can see so many ways the histories of baseball and cricket cross from the terminology, right? They both have innings. A lot of the terminology actually is similar. A year earlier, so this was not an international cricket match. Well, I guess it was actually, but it wasn't an overseas cricket match. This was a year earlier, and this was cut out from an 1858 magazine. I think this was also Harper's Weekly, that shows an even earlier match between Canada and the United States at Hoboken. And again, Harry Wright's dad would have been there as well as the groundskeeper. So anyway, hopefully you found that interesting. I can't get over this stuff. I can't believe that this stuff is available and not in a museum. I actually, before I bought this one, which is a really, really nicely preserved example, I bought this one too. So I've actually got 2 copies of this one, and I would have been perfectly happy with this. But obviously getting the upgrade was nice as well. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed something here. I certainly think this is fascinating stuff.